Cool. All right, welcome to this video, guys. Got something special here for you. As you know, we've been rocking and rolling with this impulse tool, and as a community, this is something that we just kind of started rolling with. We've been really focused on smart money and teaching people how to trade on the charts with no indicators. And we've been doing that for 4 or 5 years now. But one conclusion that we came to after all this time is that some people just don't want to do the learning curve it takes to learn that style of trading. It's very powerful. I suggest everybody learn it, but some people just don't have the time. In fact, I would run into customers. One customer said, "Hey, I'm 70 years old and I believe that stuff is the way to go, but my brain can't consume all that knowledge anymore. I can't go through all those videos. I just need a tool that does 90% of the work for me, or, and I can just apply a 3-4 step strategy to get in." And we never thought of things like that. We always just said, shut up and learn this. It's kind of been our motto the whole time, and so we added the impulse for folks that are in that category that just don't want to do it, either don't like it, don't want to do it, can't do it, whatever the reason is. And this tool has just been taking off. It's been going crazy with massive success, all kinds of excitement around it. So what I wanted to do is reach out. I went to the creator of the tool and I said, "Hey, can you give me some names of people that are killing it with this tool? They've been doing it for a while, just so I can chat with them and we can pass on their knowledge, to the new folks coming in using this tool." So the people that I have here today are those people that the creator of the tool, Brandon, sent me, and I'm just going to go through one by one and just kind of see what their trading style is, what their because as I'm finding out, there's a lot of ways to use this tool. I even got people that are smart money purists in my group that are using this tool as confirmation now for some of their trades. So there's a lot of different ways to use this. So I want them to go over their trading plan, how they're using it, and I think it's just be valuable information here moving forward. So I'm going to kick it off here with Ron. And Ron, can you tell me first, before we dive in here, how long have you been using the tool?
I've been using Impulse, Michael, since day one. Matter of fact, I met Josh before he even started becoming an educator. When I met Brandon and Josh about 3.5 years ago, I was on Josh's very first Zoom call for my team only. He did those about 27 calls, and then, I was in way before it started. And
I figured that because I've seen your name like always in that group all over the place. So I knew you've been in there for a while. And before you dig in, Ron, one thing I forgot to mention, guys, is if you don't know this, they have this thing called the Masters Club. And basically what this is people have to send in proof of their trades, right, every week. And if they're doing 70% or better, and this is confirmed by Brandon and Josh, they create a flyer saying that these guys are now in the Masters Club. And these folks here are consistently in the Masters Club. So I want to add that. Go ahead, Ron. Sorry for the interruption.
No problem. So you want me to talk about Impulse? So let's just start with this. I have a little bit of a structure I put together for you to make it simple and quick and kind of powerful for those who are listening. But why I use Impulse, very simply, guys, I use Impulse because it gives me an edge. And that's the key word, edge. It gives me an edge. And actually, if you understand about trading very much, is all you need is a little edge. I want to take maybe Las Vegas as an example. Not that we're in the gambling business, but in Las Vegas, they only have a 4% margin. And look at the millions of dollars they make. So if you have a little edge, that's all you need to be very successful. What I love about Impulse is it has actually, like Michael just said, it simplifies complexity. It simplifies the complex market. It's daunting if you aren't careful. So I love Impulse because it simplifies complexity for me. And I'll just give you a few reasons why I like Impulse. One of the first things that I noticed when Dr. Josh put this out is how he said, I have color-coded Impulse. So there's blue and red, and it's color-coded. And one of the very first things we started using was the 4 red, 4 blue cross-ups. I don't know if you guys know what they are, but the 4 red, 4 blue cross up concept I love. So I love the color coded part of Impulse. I also love the built-in currency strength meter. And see, that's another edge, because a lot of people want to trade other things. Well, if you have a currency strength meter, which we have on the Forex currencies and commodities now, the currency strength meter is a little tiny edge that I use to my advantage quite often. Another thing I love about Impulse is the dynamic moving averages, like the primary and the secondary red and blue cross. I use those all the time. It gives me another edge. So the primary and secondary crosses. And another thing I love is those little arrows, the 50 data-driven arrows, up and down arrows. I don't have them on all the time, but right when I need them, I turn them on, and they give me another little edge. So the arrows on Impulse are amazing. Another thing I like personally is the star feature. On the currency pairs on the side, I can put a star and save them at the top. So when I'm searching for top trending pairs, I can save my pairs, so I don't have to scroll through, because quite frankly, I don't trade that many pairs. I only trade about 3 or 4 pairs, primarily Euro USD. I mean, you don't really need 1,000 different assets. You can trade one, you can trade gold, you can trade SM, you can trade whatever. But I like the currencies myself. I like the fiber. The fiber, the #1 traded currency in the world, is Euro USD. There's more volume, there's more volatility. It's pretty predictable in my opinion. And of course, and I won't hit on this because I know there's a lot of other people coming into this that love this, but I love all the new additions with the macro trend and the micro and all that stuff, the macro pivots. I love it. And I also love the fact that we're continuously growing with this product. Since I started working with Dr. Josh and Brandon, constant improvement. Week after month, it keeps getting better and simpler and better, and I love it. And I've watched from day one, and I can tell you right now, Impulse is epic. I love it, and it makes it simple, so remember that. So that's enough about Impulse. Is that good, Mike, on Impulse? You're on mute, by the way, but that's okay.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right. So another thing I prepared for you guys, in addition to Impulse, there's 2 other things that are just phenomenal for me. I mean, #1, and I don't know, I haven't mentioned this, but Dr. Josh Lee is absolutely impeccable. Dr. Josh Lee, and I've seen a lot of it. Mike, I have a lot of respect for what you've done. I've been following you too and watching your videos. You know that. I'm on your chats. I think you're amazing. But Dr. Josh Lee, in my opinion, for my personality, he's so detailed, so professional, so amazing. And Dr. Josh Lee, in addition to Impulse, watching his teachings and trainings on how to use Impulse and all the stuff he's implemented is impeccable to me. And I also, during the time that I've learned how to use Impulse and work with Dr. Josh and Brandon, I put together my systematic rules-based data-driven trading plan based on Impulse data. So my best practices that I would like to share with anybody new listening to this video, and we made this video to you new people to help you understand the vision. This is what we're doing this for you new people, to see the vision of what we've been able to find. So in my best practices, this is me. I'm not telling you this is what you need to do, but this is what I do. I trade trends. I'm a trend trader. My job is to seek out trends. Follow a trend, get in a trend, and ride it as far as I can. That's where the money is, in my opinion. There's lots of ways to trade, but one of the things I like about Impulse is it shows me the top trending pairs. Trend trader, that's what I am. So I'm a trend trader. Now, a lot of people talk about consolidation. Well, I trade a lot of consolidation, but on a 15-minute time frame, if the 15-minute chart's consolidating, then I can get in a 1-minute trade, and I can run a pretty good trend on a 15-minute consolidation structure. So if you like consolidation trades or reversal, there's a lot of things you can do anything with Impulse. Personally, guys, working with Dr. Josh Lee, I put together a systematic rules-based Impulse data-driven trading plan, and I use 6 price action patterns most of the time. And I'll tell really quick, I can tell you what they are. I'm not going to go into them, I'll just tell you what they are, but this is the key word with Impulse. You got to know Impulse and price action is key. Because Dr. Josh said it 1,000 times over the last 3 years, price action is king. And if you understand price action in addition to Impulse, it's magical. So what I use most of the time, I don't know if you want me to tell you what they are, so maybe I won't share my my price action patterns with you. I mean, I don't want to get anybody, I'm not trying to lead anybody to what I do exactly, but so one thing I want to share with you.
There's no big deal. I mean, just simply what I'm looking for is each one of your trade plans. you know, and
Okay.
just so people can see the different variety, you know, and they can, you know, understand, you know, how to use it. And maybe, you know, something here vibes with them that they haven't seen before. So something like
Okay.
that.
Well, all right. Well, my plans, and I wrote them down. I mean, I know them by heart, but see, I when I see the charts, I can see the setup. So I use retracement breakouts. Period. I use a retracement breakout with a two-wave pattern. That's number one. I also used a triple peak with divergence, and I use a triple peak inverse with divergence. I also use ideal triple peaks. And when you watch Dr. Josh, you'll understand what an ideal triple peak is. So I use ideal triple peaks and reversals and inverse triple peaks. That's one of my other price action patterns. I also remember Dr. Josh about 2 years ago. He said, this is the easiest setup you will ever find as a new person. It's called a retracement confirmation candle. So when the price is going up, pretty strong trend, you get one retracement candle and it breaks above that. That's an RCC, a retracement confirmation candle. That's one of the price action patterns I use and I love it. And it's kind of like a flat top, you know, flat bottom kind of a scenario, but I love RCCs. That's one of my favorite ones. I also like what I call, and I have it written down here, is that a Bollinger Band bounce in trend. So if a price is going up in a downtrend and it hits the top of the Bollinger Band, a lot of times it'll bounce down, retrace, and do a two-wave pattern off a Bollinger Band bounce in trend. That's one of my price action patterns I learned from Dr. Josh, and it's unbelievable. I also use manual-based techniques, and I also use breakout of market phase. If you guys know what market phase and market structure is, when it breaks out and does a two-wave up or down, that's my 6 price action patterns. It's that simple. But the key word, guys, is price action. So
Yeah.
one thing I want to share with you is, go ahead.
Yeah, what I wanted to say just real quick, if you're a new person watching this and like your head's spinning right now, like from everything he just said, all that stuff's in the trading, right? And there's very, very simple ways to trade it, and you can make it as complicated as you want as well. There's all kinds of different ways. So just know that, you know, this is taught to you in a very easy, simple fashion through Dr.
Yes.
Josh. He teaches it really well. So I just want to add that in there real quick.
No, it's really funny about what you said, Michael, is I can't believe what I actually just said. 3 years ago, I would have had no idea what a retracement two-wave pattern breakout, what does that mean? And guys, honestly, I've watched every video that Dr. Josh ever made. I've watched every one and I've taken notes. And, you know, as you get around it, I mean, there's simple ways you can just take the, you know, the macro pivots and kind of prey on those. But as you stay with this company and as you learn, because I'm going to tell you, to be honest with you, straight up, it takes a while to understand first and then kind of memorize it and then use it. It takes a little bit of time. This isn't a simple, real, I mean, we're making it as simple as possible, but it takes time to be around, to be, you know, a sniper trader like we are all on this call. So anyway, that's one thing I wanted to share with you guys. Just know your consolidation phases, know the different kind of phases, know your structures, and Josh will teach you those. I mean, I use highs and lows all the time when I'm looking at the markets. I go back in different time frames and look at highs and lows, and I trade off those also. And I'm not, I wanted to make this simple, Michael, but it sounds like I'm getting a little bit deep. So
I think that's
you know,
fine. I mean, I think what we have there is good. I mean, the bottom line is there's a few different ways to trade this, you know, and of course, you know, Ron's been here since day one, right? And we're going on about 18 months now. So he's got all kinds of knowledge and all kinds of different ways to trade it. And what you're going to find is what our people are finding is you're going to come in at first and probably trade it the simplest way first. And, you know, and then you'll learn something, you'll stack that on. Like Ron didn't come out the gate with all this, right? He came in just following some colors and getting in, you know, and that's what a lot of our people are doing right now. We actually have, and then I'll move on to the next person, but we have one of our guys that figured out something really cool. Like a lot of people go and, you know, and go to that strongest strength. Well, what he's doing, especially now with the macro trend, is he goes down to the lowest strength because they're all consolidating, and he puts an alarm on each side. And then once it breaks out, he gets there and he's right there at the beginning of the macro every time, you know, and he just waits for the pullback and then gets in. And that's how he's using it, right? It's doing it kind of the opposite way a lot of people do it. And it's so dang simple, you know, and he's crushing it. So, but Ron, thanks for your knowledge, man. You know this thing inside and out, and it's obvious. You know, it's absolutely obvious. So I want to
Am I
thank you.
going? Can I share just a couple more real quick things that I think are important to people? Real
Yeah,
quick.
definitely real quick. We got three other people. We wanna...
Okay. Just make sure when you're setting a stop loss, guys, set it deep enough. And if one of the things that I've learned that's taken me a long time, when I set my volatility-based stop loss, always add spread. That's what I've learned. I got caught off guard. So trade a few pairs, use a volatility-based stop loss, and you will be absolutely epic. As long as you follow Dr. Josh Lee and his training consistently, you'll be great. So, Mike, thank you for having me on, and I'm just glad to be a part of this amazing team that you guys have put together.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. That was awesome. That was awesome. All right, perfect. Let's just move on then here. I'm just going to go down the line that I've got here on my screen. So let's go to Stella next. And kind of same question for you, Stella. How long you been doing it? And, how do you trade this thing? And make sure you unmute. Yeah, there you go. I'm still not hearing you though. Let's see here. Let's see, go to gallery. Let me see what it says over here.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there we are. There
How
we
odd. It was off mute my end, so sorry about that, guys.
No problem.
Thank you for inviting me, Michael. I'm truly honored. My journey is completely the other scale of Ron's. And I've been with the Academy since August 2022. And I would say, but my trading journey started when I spoke to Brandon in November 2022. And this is really for the new person and my take on what I've got from Impulse and where I am so far, because it's still very, very early stages into my trading journey. And I never thought that I would even be where I am right now. And that's all thanks for me with Impulse. I know nothing different. I got caught in a trading web. I'm going to call it a web, because when I joined the company, I had no idea what I was doing, no idea where to go. And when I found Impulse and I only concentrated on Impulse, everything changed. And I hope you don't mind, but I've taken a slightly different approach in terms of, for any new person, when they're joining or where to start or what do they do, I would always say, start with Impulse. Start with the boot camp before you get on any go live sessions. Just work your way through the boot camps. That's certainly what I did anyway on Impulse, and I wrote it all down. And then I joined a go live every single day. I've never missed one since. And I just follow everything that I've been taught. And I just wrote a few things down. I hope you don't mind me sharing it this way, but this is really what I've got from it so far. As I said, I would really start for any new person with the boot camp, and don't get caught in that trading web. As I say, that's a different story, and I'll go into that another time. And share what you learn with others. Share what you learn and not what you earn. That's another thing I always like to say. And show people what it can do for them and how it's helped you. And just really start at the beginning and be open to be taught from scratch. Trading is not easy, and Impulse simplifies that. The key to what I get from it is price direction. And if you understand price direction, then you can trade, and Impulse does that for you. It simplifies it. Everything is simple. Not trading, but Impulse makes it simple for people like myself. That's certainly what I found from it. I started with something small, small scalping moves. I got taught an exclusive technique from Dr. Josh, which is something called flat tops, flat bottoms. If no one has any idea where to start, for me, that was simple and something I could understand, and I could manually come into my trades and execute my trades and work to my objective trade system, to be honest, that I've been taught from Dr. Josh Lee. and I just follow it to the limit. And I've had huge success in terms of where I'm at right now with what I've been taught so far. But my journey is very, very early on. So I am truly honored that, for one, I'm making those flyers every week, and I never thought I'd be where I was already, if I'm honest. So to any person coming into this, Impulse makes it as simple process as possible. And I agree with Ron, how Dr. Josh Lee has taught me has been game changing for me and my trading. What else would I share with people? Here you get to master the skill for life. Where else can you get to do that? You get taught how to fish, not just be handed the fish. Remember why you started, and that was actually to learn how to trade and not to copy trade. And that's what I love. You've got nothing to compare yourself to, and sometimes that may be out of your comfort zone. But at the end of the day, you're trading and you're being taught something for life, and that is a skill set that no one can ever take away from you. That's some of the things that Impulse has given me. And
just to interrupt your flow there for a second.
I know.
Just a couple points, you know. For one, I think I missed it. I'm sure you said at the beginning. How long have you been using this tool?
Since November 2022.
Okay, perfect. And so I just want to emphasize one thing that I love. Ron said this, and you said this. You know, is the fact that this is a trend tool. You know, and
Yes,
identifying trend, and you could actually, like, say if you had a strategy that you loved, you know, but you're just getting your ass kicked in it because you're always on the wrong side of things, you can actually use Impulse with any strategy that you want. You know, they teach great strategies. And then just for the people watching this, you know, Ron mentioned some different ways to trade, and Stella just mentioned the flat top, flat bottom. If any of these things vibe with you, like if you're vibing with Stella and you're like, man, I'm in that same position, I want something simple and easy. When you go to the Go Live channel and you go to the favorites, they actually have a video there, and I've got it right here. I'm looking at it. The Impulse exclusive flat top and flat bottom scalping strategy, right? They've got a video in there for every little thing. That's your favorite, right? That one right there?
it is. And they did, like, it actually started off as just one session, and then it became an exclusive because they went into it in huge detail, and then would add, I don't want to confuse people that have no idea where to start, but you can add to your trading style whilst using it. And I think it makes you feel in control of your trading when you're able to manually close out and have an entry reason, but also have an exit reason, and not to marry the trade, have no emotions to it, what you're trading, and like have a reason to be able to come out of a trade as well as be in one. It's not all about just like a huge risk to reward ratio, in my humble opinion. For me, my journey has been like more in terms of the short term scalping, not long trades. That basically means, for anyone that doesn't know. And then I add to it. I add to my trading as I've been learning. And then you can add things like the 2 wave pattern to your flat tops, your flat bottoms. And that's really what I've got from it. And just be consistent with what you do. You don't need to be looking for every single strategy. I understand every single indicator. I understand every single indicator, what it does, but you don't have to feel like you've got hundreds and hundreds of favorite sessions and recordings from Brandon and Dr. Josh Lee. But if you find something that works, you don't have to keep looking for every last strategy.
Yeah,
like,
I agree with
use something
that's
that
a really
works for
good
you.
point. That's a really good point. You know, you only need one. You know, you only need one strategy. And the same thing when we do, we say when we teach smart money, there's a lot of ways to do it, you know, and any one of them, you know, will help you accomplish the goals that you need to accomplish. You don't need to stack 6 or 7 of them like Ron did, you know, but some people like doing that, you know, and that's what's great about this is just, you know, it'll fit for whatever your personality is. You just want one, make it simple and go on with your life. You got it here. So
yeah, point. Absolutely. And just don't become emotionally attached to any trade setup, you know, and I'd say don't marry it. And there was one thing that I was told really, really early on, and I'm going to read this because if it helps anybody, I've had many people reach out to me in their trading journey asking me what's worked for me. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it here and actually, but basically what it is how can I explain? Sorry, Michael, give me 2 seconds because I just wrote this down and I wanted to share this, but feel free to just ask me whilst I'm just trying to find it.
That's okay. Yeah, take your time. Look, I can edit this stuff too, you know. But yeah, take your time, find it. I mean, it's
So this was something that when people often they start and then people can feel overwhelmed and they may feel like it's not, you hear many people say, oh, it's not working for me, or like I don't understand price direction, like I'm getting in too late in the trades, or like things like that, or people think it's something that they're doing wrong. And this was something that is really, really helpful for me. And it is, price is always going to go where price is going to go. It doesn't even know that you exist. It has no emotion to you or your feelings. Neither should you to it. The only thing that is current is the current candle. And you're going to take wins and you're going to take lessons. And lessons we learn from. I love lessons. I don't want them all the time, but I learn from my lessons. And that has no reflection on you.
awesome.
That's one of the biggest things I got.
Yeah, it's true. It's all powerful stuff. All powerful stuff. And so so you already okay. If that, I think we get everything there. We get your strategy and the process. All right, that's awesome, Stella. I want to thank you for sharing. I think that's all I got from you. Excellent stuff there, and I love the fact that you're just focusing on one thing, and that's the simplest way to do it. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, don't overcomplicate it and enjoy your journey.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. All right, awesome. All right, I'm going to move on to the next one here. And next one on my list here is Cam.
All right. Thank you so much for having us on, Mike.
Hey man, wait a minute. I know you. You were in my truck.
I met you like one of the first events I ever went to is when I met you in where was that event? It was in Anaheim.
It was like San Bernardino or something like that, like right around here somewhere. I can't remember, but
Yeah, it was in Anaheim. Yeah, I've been trading since August. I just barely hit my it was like August, September, 3 years ago. So I just barely hit my 3-month mark. And the thing they really want to focus on today is pretty much like they use it a lot in Go Live, they use it a lot in trading, is momentum. Just because there's momentum in trading and there's momentum with how Impulse has become the #1 used scanner in the academy. I've been here for 3 years, and I've seen a lot of other scanners, seen a lot of other strategies, and a lot of them, they're all wonderful, right? But this one is like for the everyone has said it on this call already. This is for like a beginner trader to advanced trader because it makes it so simple. It's super clean looking. Once you guys get looking at it, it's just super clean. There's not a million lines on it. I remember when I first started, I was drawing millions of different lines on my charts, and I showed Josh, and Josh was like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you making it so complicated? Just simplify it. You don't need to draw all these millions of lines. Just find your 1 or 2 strategies that work with you with our scanners, and use it every single trade." So one thing that and that's why it's #1. There's a reason, because it's so simple, it's fresh, it's clean, it's easy, it's trading made simple. That's really what it is. And something that I really focus on every trade is patience. I always tell myself, I even have a sticky note over on my trading system here that says patience pays. Because you have to be patient for every single trade setup. Don't rush it. If you feel that's the biggest thing that's going to trick your mind, because trading is 99% mindset. And if you're not telling yourself like, hey, stay patient, follow the rules, and just always remind yourself to of these things that you're trading, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to be successful with trading. Just stick to the basics. Once I figured that out, it's been a lot better for my trading journey. And kind of going back to the momentum, that plays a huge role in the trading. Every single trade we take, there are momentum indicators on the charts, and they teach you on Go Live, they teach you on everything that they do with Josh and Brandon. They teach you how to analyze momentum. The higher the momentum, the more likely it is going to be trending, right? I'm also a trend trader, and there's just very simple rules that you follow. One of my favorite strategies, kind of going into that, is breakout retest. So when something breaks out of a ceiling or a resistance and kind of breaks right through that and retests back down to, I always tell myself, like, hey, if we get every single step, if the RSI is setting up, if the stochastics is setting up, if we get a confirmation candle, if we get every single thing setting up, we're taking the trade. If we're missing one of those things, we're not going to take it. We're going to be patient and wait for it. And just so you guys know, every single thing I'm saying with the RSI, momentum, stochastics, if you just type that into the search on Go Live, there's going to be dozens of videos that teach you only on that subject. And so everything that Ron and Stella, Crystal, and I are going to be talking about, if you don't understand that certain subject, just go type it into favorite sessions. It'll pull up a bunch of videos. Some are like an hour long, some are just 2 or 3 minutes of quick concept videos that teach you what's a confirmation candle, what's a breakup structure, what is a breakout retest, and they're going to dive deep just into that. And so, like, hey, if breakout retest is my strategy, I'm going to watch every single video on breakout retest until it's grilled into your brains. And something that's really helped me, as you can see behind me, I have some whiteboards. I have whiteboards all over my walls, and I just watch these Go Live and draw exactly what we should be looking out for breakout retest. I also love the 3-step process, determining where the price direction is going to go. That's also on the Go Live sessions. And what I also love about Impulse is how it's updating. Ron mentioned this, it's updating all the time. When it first came out, it was just, the red and green, or sorry, the red and blue arrows looked super clean with the primary and secondary trend lines, stochastics, RSI. Just a few weeks ago, they came out with macro and micro overlays. It came out with a macro trend line where it shows you an arrow. Hey, is price more likely to go up, or is it going to go down? Is it breaking through the primary trend line to the upside, or is the primary trend going down? It's all color coordinated. There's arrows that tell you, is it going down? Is it going up? Is it more likely to be breaking out of this certain area of structure? And then I'm super excited for what's coming out in the next couple of weeks of even more updates to Impulse. It's just there's a reason why they keep updating it, because it's getting better and better and better. More and more people are using it. And one of my favorite things is the ability to trail your stop loss. So if you're in a trade and it's really, say, you have your breakout retest, you go in for a buy at the confirmation candle, and it's just trending on up, going up and up and up and up. There are different strategies that kind of incorporates what Ron and Stella have already talked about with the flat bottoms, flat tops. If things are breaking out of flat tops,